part two of a very long Friday that feels like a manic Monday. But I brought you guys some tech joy, some tech knowledge. Listen, I need you to drop those cities and states in the chat because we brought back Sub-Zero. Y'all asked for him. He on vacation. See, the other day I was on vacation for a week with my people, my significant other, and now he out there on vacation. But we brought it to y'all on a Friday, a feel good Friday, what we used to call a Freedom Friday. If it's your first time here, my name is Erica Williams of the Classy Climb blog, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. And he brought along one of his co-instructors, Mr. Sean.
Hey.
So, Sub-Zero, could you introduce you and your instructor? Sean, you might need some headsets. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback.
Okay. My name is Subzero369. They call me Sub. I have been a YouTuber for I'd say about 5 years now. I was on a whim doing a video one time and I said, hey, hit me up if you really want to learn database development, SQL Server. And next thing you know, I started having like 5, 6 people signed up and I started teaching. And I kept saying, okay, this is going to be my last class. This is a lot of time. And, I was doing it for, and the next thing you know, it just kept going and going and going. I was like, you know what, let me just really devote some time into this and really take it to the next level. So from there, we started, I've taught SQL Server. I taught Power BI. Then my brother came in and taught Oracle Financials. Just finished that up. He's still working with the students now. They're kind of doing their, I guess, exam, so to speak. They're kind of validating what they've done. And right now we're about to do Salesforce with one of the smartest people I know. And that's this brother at the bottom of the screen down here by the name of Sean. I met him at Tuskegee. So you got a Tuskegee man.
Uh-oh, Tuskegee now. Now, y'all, listen, I ain't going to talk smack, but I got to just a little bit. The way Jackson State got the people rumbling, y'all got to come up with something, okay? Y'all
but we're different. We're different. We're Division 2. We're not in the same division.
I know.
But I keep telling people, Dion is gone. I don't know why everybody think Dion. Dion just interviewed for TCU last year. He's gone. As soon as he gets a Division 1 program, major Division 1, he's gonna leave.
Listen, he gave him half his paycheck this year to help improve the facility. Yeah. So he putting some investment in it.
If Florida State comes calling, you better believe he's going to Florida State. Best believe it.
Don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. Dion done put his work in. Now, Sean, I think you got your headset on. Go ahead. I'm gonna unmute you. Introduce yourself to the audience. How can we get to know you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Sean Sorrells. I go by many different titles, but basically I run sales operations globally for several companies. I've been in IT for quite some time. Background over a decade in IT recruiting, running recruiting and sales teams all over the country. And so that's a little bit about me. And now one of my passions is helping other people get into this field called tech and make as much money as they possibly can for themselves and their family. And show them how to do it and pave a clear path forward for them. So it's a little bit about me.
Okay. So, Sub, go ahead and take it over now. You're supposed to be telling me what we're talking about today.
Okay. So let me. Okay. So this is the thing. So, all right. I've been doing database development some years. I say about 2016, 2017. Sean, I talked to him. We'll hang out sometime in Atlanta and stuff. And he started talking about Salesforce. I didn't know what it was. And from there, we got training together. We got certified in Salesforce administrator. And I never really used it like that. Maybe once a little bit, but not like that. But Sean went in and really started getting jobs. Salesforce pays anywhere from, you can get like 80 or more. You can get a nice salary. Is in high demand. Salesforce, I'll let him explain what it is, but this is the inaugural class for Lifting the Veil IT Academy. This is our third discipline. We taught Oracle, we taught SQL Server. Now we're going to teach Salesforce. And Salesforce, the reason I'm excited, and I always tell people about this, and I'm gonna let Sean's the real guy, but I'm gonna just kind of give us introduction. The reason you want to do Salesforce, no coding is involved to be able to get a job. You don't need to know how to code. It is point and click, drag and drop, which is in tech terms, that's called declarative, which means you don't have to learn a language. You don't have any software to install. You could do this virtually on a tablet if you want to. I wouldn't advise it. I would advise you getting a laptop to take the class, but you the first probably 10 minutes in, you'll be working. Like, it's not, and that's good. Also, you can work a Salesforce instance from your cell phone. So it's
so wait. So slow down. Listen, man, you're going so fast. I was trying to take some notes. Hold on a minute. Now, you started out with one. Now you on Salesforce, so people can come to you for just about anything.
well, not just yet.
Not just yet.
But,
Okay.
But that's the plan. I'm not wanting to just stick to what I know. I'm moving. I actually looking into next. I want to really look into those high paying crypto coding classes. So I need to kind of get into that, because that's $500,000. So I'm looking at that too.
The monies.
Yeah, we trying to get to them M's, right? I'm a country boy. I see them M's. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to them, and the easiest way to get to them, I'm like Dave Ramsey. Your greatest wealth building tool is like a shovel, and that's your income. And so if you can take your income and double it, triple it, quadruple it, and you can make 150, 200, or let's just say 100. You can really pay your debt off. You can set yourself apart so that you can start moving towards your end goal in life, which would be whatever that may be. You fill in the blank. Salesforce is good because me being a database developer, a lot of times people come in, they're trying to learn the coding language, and you open up the screen, you'll see all these, numbers and symbols, and you don't know what you're looking at. But with Salesforce, it's literally, when I say it's just understanding, okay, this is a user, you grab the user with your mouse, drag them over here and let it go. And that drops them into that's literally, you can build an application in minutes. Like, it's literally with no experience. Like, all you got to do is just look and understand what it is you want to do. That's why you have this guy at the bottom of the screen, because he's going to break it down. Now, as you go up the ladder of Salesforce, you can make ridiculous money. We're talking, millions, obviously. But, obviously, if you just want to become, let's say, an architect level guy, that might take you 4 or 5 years. Worst case, that's if you're not you're taking your time, you're working. 5 years is cheaper than going to college, but you can make money, the same money a doctor makes. And so for me, I just think this is a smarter way to move. And the entrance, the barrier of entry is not as high. Look, I teach, look, we teach coding. We teach all types of things. You can learn, okay? It's not like what I teach is hard, but this is for those people that looked at it, man, I don't know. I don't understand that code. And they get intimidated, especially us as African Americans. Well, you can get away from that and just jump directly into Salesforce, where it's literally just point and click, drag and drop. And so I would rather him kind of break it down, because he's the instructor, and I ain't touched Salesforce in years. I use it for tickets. I touch Salesforce for tickets. We use it as a ticket software, but I'm not gonna lie and say I'm the real administrator. Now he is.
Right. I'm gonna just give you, just listen. Sub be running fast on y'all. I know he do. Listen, ZipRecruiter even says the annual salaries be around anywhere from 198,000 to around 135,000. So listen, they said that's for Salesforce. So again, at one point the average for Salesforce was 97,000. So you guys, there's some money out there. People are Googling it hard. And right now there's I think at Glassdoor, over 18,000 people have shared their salaries on Glassdoor. They have one guy who's a guest services ambassador making $352,000 a year. So again, there's a reason you see so much Salesforce promotion. A lot of people are making around that 170, 190, but I will let him kick it off. I just want to remind y'all that part.
Sure. Well, first, appreciate you having me on the show. It's an honor and a privilege. I think a couple of things. I just want to back up just a little bit. One, kind of piggybacking on what something Sub said, your income is one of the most powerful tools you can have from a wealth building perspective. And so then the question becomes, okay, well, how do I continually increase my income? And I've been convinced just over my career and through helping people that the way to do that is to have a skill set that is highly marketable and in demand, and provide that skill set not just to one company, but to as many companies as you possibly can, and thereby multiplying your income that way. And so, we talk about Salesforce, you've heard SQL, you've heard all these different technologies thrown around. I do Salesforce. That's one of my main skill sets in my tool bag that's caused me to be able to increase and double and triple my income over the past few years. And so I've been teaching other people Salesforce, and have had a lot of great success stories as it relates to it. And I just think it's an amazing opportunity to get into the world of IT with very low barriers to entry. You don't have to go back to school. You don't need a degree. We teach a class to get you certified. Once you're certified, we help you get the skills to land your first opportunity, and then you're off to the races. And so that's it at a very high level. I can break it down from there. We can go from there, but that's it at a very high level.
And shout out to Anthony and Erica. I didn't say thank you either for having me on the channel. I want to say thank you for supporting me. And shout out to Anthony. This brother is pretty pushing 5 years now of experience. Developer. He took the Oracle class. I think they just validating some things. And so we're doing some things. We've even found some recruiters. What we're trying to do is just have it go. You come to us and it's a one-stop shop. You come here, get trained, get a job. That's the direction we're moving in. We've hired recruiters, and it's a slow process, but we've signed on companies now that's saying, hey, when we get positions, we will send them. You are on the list. So we've gotten we got one, and we're moving towards a few other interviews next week. Me and my brother talking about that. So we're trying to expand this. And when I need people that do cybersecurity, when I need people that do whatever, I want to be able to train all those people. And it's an umbrella. So you come to us, you have a monthly subscription, you come to us and you get live training where you unmute your microphone and you talk. Because as an African-American, I don't want to be in no chat. And I've taken classes where you in a chat and and it's moving all fast and you're trying to understand what people are saying and they don't see your question. You got to type it 5 times. I don't want that. I want it where I can unmute. Excuse me, I don't understand that. Could you go back? Oh, just as you can hear me audibly, hear me talk. That's how we do at Lifting the Veil. I believe in hands-on approach. Okay, I'm coming to you. I want you to share your screen and show me what you're talking about. Then that student can share their screen and say, okay, I tried this. I'm like, oh, you're making a mistake. You did this wrong, and try this. Do it this way. And so what that does is that saves you the time of having to go and read a book, open up, try to do it, make the mistake, go do a Google search, try this, try that. Oh, finally I figured it out after a day. Whereas with me having X amount of years and with Sean with our instructors, we're hiring people that have years of experience. They're able to jump right in and delve right in and really be able to say, okay, this is why that was wrong. I can tell you in minutes. I had a student who's working on the ETL package the other day. He said he was dealing with something with Excel or Excel destination. I knew instantly what he was doing. I knew, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, because I've been down, I've done it. It took me a week to fix something like that before. So I knew what he was going through. So I was able to tell him that is priceless. Also, what we offer at Lifting the Veil, career advice. It's one thing to go get a lecture with somebody, they train you, and then they just send you out there to the wolves. We help you with your resume. I help you with your resume in other areas. I give you my phone number. I'm reachable. I'm easy to talk to. I'm not this snooty, stuck up, arrogant guy that, all pretentious. No, I was a guy who was a produce manager working at a damn produce, making $400 a week and frustrated, ready to slap 5 from my manager. Right. And the next thing I felt that way, man. I felt like he hated me. But anyway, the thing is, I came out of that hole. And if I can come out of that hole in $14,000 worth of traffic tickets and just messed up and suspended license, expired tag, warrants for my arrest, I paid all that off, got my license, and got my life back together with IT. That's what I was able to do. So this is a chance of a lifetime.
You guys, I made sure to put the links inside the chat. They'll also be tagged. They'll be in the description. They'll be tagged at the top of the links. Don't be afraid to click the links. Click that links. Anyway.
So Sean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yes, I'm just making sure you guys see the website. It's called Lifting the Veil. Listen, help him with that SEO. Type in "Lifting the Veil" a couple times in the search bar there. But yeah, we put the links in there. And someone asked, "What happened to your channel this week, Sub?"
Yeah,
Skynet got you.
Yeah, they own me. They own me. Was it Little Big Nate? They're after a lot of people. I think since the abortion thing got pushed through, a lot of people. I've gotten like
conservative channels.
Yeah, they really have kind of. So I'm gonna probably have to take all my videos down and just chill for about 2 months. Like
or just start a new channel. Start a new channel.
Well, yeah, but they linked my other channel. I can't even go live on my other channel. So it's like that. They don't, so. But that's another video. I don't want to go into the YouTube.
I just, it was a question in the chat.
Yeah,
I'll be letting the chat rock. I'm trying not to ignore them a little bit. There's a lot of great questions and stuff people were asking there. That says Salesforce is easy to learn. Just joining. Do I need a cert for Salesforce?
So yeah, so if the reality is, I mean, if you're trying to get into the industry, yeah, the thing that's going to give you the most credibility is a certification if you don't have any experience, right? And so, yeah, you want a certification. In IT is very much what can you do for me, right? What can you do? And even more than that, what have you done lately? Because it's always changing, right? And so if you don't have any experience in industry and IT, you definitely want a certification for sure.
Okay. Someone said big data, Salesforce, cloud technology, and Delos. Sorry. Somebody said blockchain. Somebody said SQL, Python.
Sure.
Let me see. You guys are saying a lot of stuff here. Does it have to take 5 years when one already has multiple years of tech experience?
No, not at all. So I'll give you a little bit of my story. My personal story, like I told you, I got into IT directly out of college. I developed a application system that can control prisons from a touchscreen. Traveled all over the country installing that software. 2008 hit, the Great Recession. Everybody laid off everybody, and I was one of them. Lost my job. Could not, at that time, I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't know how to take these skills that I had and let the world know that I was amazing, right? And so I wasn't able to land something. It took me a very long time. Eventually landed an IT recruiting position here in Atlanta. Grew up through the ranks of that, became leaders of those teams, started divisions, things like that. But really what happened was I learned in that role, my eyes were open to the kind of money that people were making in IT. And when I say people, I'm not talking about just some people. I mean, everybody that was in IT at any kind of medium level and up, they were making money to the tune of $70, $100, $150, $200 an hour. And that blew my mind. I just wasn't used to seeing that kind of that level of income. And what it did was it normalized high earning salaries for me to the point where I began to ask myself the question, well, wait a minute, if I'm constantly hiring people who have these skill sets that these companies are willing to pay a lot, why don't I just get one of those skill sets? Why don't I acquire that information? So what I did was I did some research, learned about Salesforce. I took a class for 3 months. At the end of that class, I got certified. Within 3 months of being certified, I had my first position, my first, I'll share some numbers here. My first Salesforce job, I was making 130K. Since then, I've gone on to over double that. But the point is you can't, the numbers they're all relative, right? So 130K may be a whole lot to some people. It may not be much for other people. But the point is, when you get that skill set, it doesn't take you 5 years. It doesn't take you, 10 years. You learn the information. We can do it in as short as 3 months. You can do it faster if you're a fast learner. And then you learn how to market yourself and leverage your current experience that you already have, coupled with what you just learned from a Salesforce perspective. And that catapults you to a whole nother dimension in terms of your earning potential. So that's what we teach and that's what we do. And it's not theoretical for me, right? This is exactly my life. I reinvented my whole self by learning a skill set that was highly marketable. And now multiple companies rely on me to provide that skill set on a global level And again, the income just matches what you're able to provide from a skill set standpoint.
So you were a recruiter?
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. I just want to hear a little bit of it.
Yeah. So
don't give us the horror stories, but give them to us.
Yeah, it was that was eye-opening. You don't know what you don't know. Here you are submitting resumes to companies and spitting out resumes, and how come nobody's calling me and nobody's getting me a job? And what I learned was that in recruiting, there's a whole industry. They don't work for you. They don't work for you as a job seeker. They are working for companies who pay them a lot of money to find talent. Okay. So when you call a recruiter and you're like, hey, can you help me find a job? They'll tell you, yes, they can. But really, that's not what they do. Unless you have some kind of very, very unique skill set that no one else has. And then at that point, you're highly marketable, because they can take your skill set and market you to companies that they know need that skill. But if you are just kind of a regular average Joe, run of the mill, no differentiated skills, you're 1 in a million, and they are working with 1 million of you. And so that's the reality. And so what I learned, and once I got to the point where I was developing teams, is I would have my recruiters specialize in technology. So I would have a recruiter that was only recruiting Salesforce talent, a recruiter that was only recruiting business intelligence talent, a recruiter that's only recruiting all these different skill sets, cybersecurity. And they would get to know the people who had the skills, not just the skills, but also the personalities and the business acumen and things like that. And those are the people that we go to market with. Those are the people that we say, hey, Coca-Cola, we have this particular person that we just came in touch with, and this is their salary, and this is their rate, and this is what they're looking for, and this is what they'll do. But it was always on the talent's terms, right? If you're good, once you get to a point where you're good, you set your terms, right? Where you'll work, what you'll work for, the amount of money you'll work for, when you'll work, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I learned. I learned a ton in the industry, and those are some of the things I learned.
The big thing I wanted to touch on it with you about recruiting before we move on is, I told people updating that LinkedIn matters. I meet so many people who don't even have LinkedIn, and then if they do, they got a picture from 1994 barbecue up there with the Q Dog shirt on, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing? This ain't Facebook. This is different.
This is factual. So I was in the industry when LinkedIn was a baby, and they were coming around to all of the recruiting firms and saying, hey, we're LinkedIn. And we laughed at them like, whatever, career builder, these job boards, these are the ways that we're going to get our candidates. And lo and behold, they took off like wildfire. And so you think of LinkedIn as kind of the Facebook of business, if you will. And the reality is, if you're not on LinkedIn, you are not in the job search game. That's just period. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're not in the job search game. And I'll say it like this: when it's time, when I'm ready to look for a new opportunity or position, I don't go distributing my resume to job boards. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying I've been doing this a while now, so I know getting a job is a skill itself. And so when you know the skill, you know how to get it. If I want a job, I'll get one. And right now it's to the point where I just open up my LinkedIn inbox and choose who I want to respond to.
Facts.
Right. And then I call them or they call me and we have a conversation. And if it makes sense, we go with it. But that's only because I'm marketing myself a particular way, within a niche, within a skill set, with a technology that is very much in demand. So if you're not on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you from a recruiting standpoint, the very first thing we do after we see a resume that we like is we look the person up on LinkedIn.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
And if they're not on LinkedIn, we don't think they're serious about their career. And it just is what it is. If you're not on LinkedIn, this person is a worker. They're not serious about their career. They're not thinking ahead. Now, is that, I'm just letting you know that's how they think. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It's how it works. So
listen, y'all. Recruiter questions, bring them, but I just wanted him to touch on that because a lot of times I get a little pushback from the LinkedIn conversation, and I'm like, I still get messages on there for property management. I haven't been in property management in 6 years, y'all.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're looking based off what you put up there. And so I told him, I think I told Sub this. I was like, I'm gonna put A+ up there. I'm just gonna put that. I'm certified in a bunch of stuff. See what happens. He like, stop playing. But I just said, see what my phone start ringing.
Yeah.
I almost think people should have a separate phone because some of y'all be acting up on these phones. So
I'll give you another little tip as it relates to the recruiting and resume building and things like that. Just in terms of, again, getting a job as a skill set. One of the biggest misunderstandings about resumes is that they need to be as short as possible and you know, and you know, as creative as possible. And the reality is nobody's reading these resumes. And you know, I look at Instagram, you know, resume gurus all the time, and they're telling you use this word instead of that word and this and that and this, and you know, that's awesome. But the reality is, you know, these algorithms are reading these resumes. And so if I'm looking for a Objective-C developer and I type that into my searches, it's going to pull back the resumes with the most Objective-C, the words, the keywords that I've typed in the resume. So the counterintuitive thing is that if you want your resume to, you know, when we Google things, right? How many times do we Google something? And if we don't see what we're looking for on the first page, how many times do we go to that second page, third page, fourth page? If you're like me, you don't, right? If I don't see what I'm looking for on that first page, I usually rework my search, whatever I'm searching for. I'm not going to the second and third. Well,
I'm going to page 7.
Right. I'm not hitting all those O's down there. No. And so with resume and recruiting and resume searches, it's the same thing. If I'm looking for something and I don't see it immediately on that first page, I'm tweaking my search. And you know who pops up on the first page? The people who have the redundant keywords in their resume over and over and over again. And so so it pays off for your resume to be as long as possible and as redundant as possible if you want to get calls from recruiters about job opportunities. And that's counterintuitive. You don't hear that a lot. Everybody tells you the opposite, but I'm telling you, most of those people have not been in recruiting and have not made a living off of getting people opportunities. And so
this is why I brought this brother in. This is why I brought him in, Erica, because he's a dynamo. So yeah, but I didn't know that. I was always told that too. And I've been doing this for 12, 13 years. I still didn't know. I didn't know that till you said it. Hey, that makes sense. I didn't know that. And so this is the type of stuff that you have, because you'll be learning from not only a developer, but a recruiter who can make you, and we hadn't even gotten into how he's going to help the students, because that's a whole nother thing he's going to talk about. But it's just coming to this course, you'll be able to learn the skills. He'll be able to break it down very simplistic, but then you'll also be able to learn, hey, I remember I was on a project and this is what I help my students with. When you go, don't do this, don't do that, you will get fired. I got fired, right? I got escorted out the building because I did X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Don't do that, And so what happens is you get out there already with a level of knowledge. I've only had, out of all the students I've had get jobs, and this is with my skill set, I've only had maybe 3 to 4 terminations. Students, I mean, most of these students, they either work their project all the way through, and then the project ends, or they wind up staying.
Extended, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Saying a lot of my students, and some of them, they work it to the end. They may call me frustrated. I'm like, hey, they didn't let you go, which means you weren't competent enough to remain in there. If you weren't competent, they would have got you out of there in 2 weeks. They would have got you out of there. And
right.
so
in tech, there's movement, right? A lot of times I see guys moving all the time. They're moving laterally inside the same building. They're like, there's NI here. And I've seen people be like I'll be on Facebook and they'll be like, position changed like every couple of months. Like that's not uncommon.
Yeah. Well,
that just happened. That just happened. I just got an offer, not an offer, but they're talking to me, trying to get me to do it. I just like where I'm at, but they want me to move at my main position. I have more than, I had more than one. I'm back to one now. I'm interviewing for the second one, but that's what I'm saying. And the main job that I have, they wanted me to move because my manager moved, and everybody likes him. So they telling us to, hey, we want you guys to move into this or that, and you know, I'm like, okay. I'm like, no, I'm staying right where I'm at. I like I like what I do. I like it. I understand it. And moving into other departments, I just didn't feel like that's what I wanted to do. But you can, if you want to move up, you want to say, you know what, they're paying me 110. This position is they'll have a ranking within these organizations, and they say, okay, this position is not a lateral. This is 2 steps up. So now you're talking 140. You know, something like, you know, that's literally how they do in these organizations. And if you do move laterally, it'll have a ranking. But rarely will you move in a position and they take your money down. It's usually you move to the side or you move up.
Because they know you'll leave.
Exactly.
Well, and I'll tell you this, right? So if we're talking about maximizing earning potential, you know, in IT, you don't stay at a company, you know, the average IT person stays at a company 2.5 years, and then they're out. And for some parts of IT, it's even less than that. And the reason is there's a number of reasons for it. Sometimes a lot of IT is project based, right? So it's you're there to solve a specific problem. And once that problem is solved, it's, you know, thank you, and you move on. Other times, you don't want to stay at a company too long in IT, because think about it, that company is invested in a particular technology and the world is right. And so that company, if you stay too long, your skills are going to become a little antiquated. And so you want to keep moving. And then the other benefit to changing jobs more frequently is that typically from a salary perspective, you're going to get a 3 to 5% annual increase. And if you get 5%, you're winning, right? And if you think about it, that's really not a lot of money. It's, you know, a couple $100 a month, or, you know, whatever. It's not going to change your life, okay? But when you change companies to do the very same thing, many times you're able to negotiate 20% more than what you're making right now, right? Just by changing companies. And so, you know, you go get a new job and you're able to get, my first time getting into Salesforce, the job increase was a 40% increase than what I was making. Then again, and I told you guys and yes, WHTMT, yes, I did say that. And that's not arrogantly or any braggadocious or anything like that. That's the reality. And that was the shock, similar shock to what I was experiencing as an IT recruiter. I'm like, wait, people make this kind of money, right? Like a lot of people make this kind of money. Granted, not the majority of people, but definitely a lot of people. And I'll give you one little anecdote. I told this on another video I was on a couple weeks ago on Sub's channel. It really hit home for me when when iPhone development was just starting. You know, iPhones were starting to pop. Everybody was started to look for an iPhone app developer. And Coca-Cola called me and they said, Sean, we want an iPhone app developer. We're like, what is that? You know, we didn't really understand what it was at the time. This is years ago. And so we went to searching and we couldn't find anybody with iPhone app development on their resume, because who would have experience in a burgeoning technology that nobody has experience in yet? Well, I eventually found a 17-year-old kid in high school on MySpace or Facebook. I can't even remember where I found the person. And I just called him. I had messaged him or called him or whatever, and just had a conversation with him. Come to find out, the kid's been dabbling in it. He's been playing in it, and he understood what he understood. He had the skill set. And I told him about the opportunity, and his response was, well, I don't know. I'm still in school. I got to ask my dad. So the funny thing is, we got on the phone with his dad, talked about it. And this kid, Coca-Cola hired this kid as a 17-year-old for $150 an hour. That's the equivalent of $300,000 a year. We're talking about a kid in school who had a skill set that a company needed and nobody else had. And the reality is, he could have asked for $200 an hour, and they would have paid him because they wanted to be on the cutting edge of this technology. The point is, again, I'm driving home. Get a skill set that companies need. Once you have that, the sky is open to you, and salaries like I'm talking about won't be uncommon. They're not uncommon. They are very common.
So part of something the recruiter said on this channel once before is like, he hates when people say what they want to be paid, because the company actually has a range of what they could possibly pay them. Let them offer you a salary amount. And just give us some quick thoughts on that.
Yeah. So look, this is basic negotiating. The first person to tell their number loses. Okay. So if I'm on the phone with the recruiter and the recruiter says, and they are going to say this, well, what's your rank? What's your salary? What are your salary expectations? And I say, I'm open. What does this job pay? That's my canned response. It depends on just what does this job pay?
Say it one more time. Say,
I'm open. What does this job pay?
You guys, he just helped y'all get another $20,000 your money this year. Because I hear when I would go on interviews, people say, man, you interview well. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's that mean? He's like, do you know how people just struggle to answer questions, and they're struggling to come in here. They're sweating and they're like nervous. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's interesting. So, just that's a good tip right there, you guys.
Yeah, it's a powerful tip. It doesn't sound like it is, but it is. And let me tell you why. Because what you just did is you don't know what you don't know. So let's just say my target salary is $70K. I'm winning if I'm making $70K, right? Maybe I'm making 50 right now, and I want $70K. Well, he says, how much do you want? Well, I want $70K. Oh, great. Because what you didn't know is that they were willing to pay 110. And so now that recruiter is ecstatic. And the reason he's ecstatic is because he can still mark you up on the difference. In other words, especially on a contract, he will pay you your $70K and charge that company, let's say the equivalent of $90K. And then, so he's winning even more. You're getting what you asked for, and the company is saving a little bit. So everybody's winning. But the reality is you could have been really winning because you could have got the $90K or even the $110K. It just depends. So by keeping your mouth closed for a little while longer until you have all the information, you can be a better negotiator. And sometimes, like she said, get 20% more out of the deal. So I'm open. What does this job pay? Oh, this job pays 90. Okay, great. Well, I'm open to that. Right? Or if you're not open to that, then you can state what it is. But the point is they revealed their number first, and then you can come back, and now you know how to play your cards. So,
hey, Sean.
Yes.
Could you scroll down the site and show? And just show, because I know
that's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I just was putting it up there so they'd have reference.
Okay, if you scroll down the site a little bit, Erica, that's my motto. And if you scroll down, that's me.
The model, Mr. Green.
Whatever. And then if you scroll down, there's going to be a little white section, and I want you to. So right here, there's an arrow to the right. It should show.
I tell you what, I can share. I have it up in a much more better presentation way, so I can share what I have.
For sure. I mean, I can do it this way. I can do it full screen, but you guys may have a better way.
I think it. Yeah, if you don't mind, do you mind me sharing?
Go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then go ahead.
Okay. Boom.
It should allow multiple people to share.
Okay. Let me know if you can see what's on the screen now.
Okay. Yeah,
you can.
So we see it. So this is what he's about to start. Now Monday, he's just going to probably do an introduction. Class is really just Tuesday. What's the schedule, Sean?
Yeah, so we're doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and we're jumping in together. And on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., Thursday nights, 9 p.m., and then Saturdays at 9 a.m. And so we're doing the 9s, and we're jumping in. And it's really 5 sections, and I call it the 5 Ps, right? So the first is the perspective. We spend time helping you get the right perspective. Most people don't accomplish what they set out to do. It's not because they don't have the right intellect, or they don't have the abilities or the resources. It's because their mindset is so warped about what is capable and what is possible in this world and what their capabilities actually are. And so we spend some time making sure you're locked into an empowering perspective of work that will transform how you think about yourself and your career. And that's super important because it's foundational to you being successful in this and in any other industry. Then we go into the play, right? And we talk about, okay, well, what is Salesforce? why Salesforce, right? What's different about it? What are the different types of careers in Salesforce? How do we leverage the Salesforce ecosystem? Why is, Salesforce the thing? And so we talk about the play of Salesforce and being able to use Salesforce to maximize your career. And then we jump into the nitty gritty, the actual program. This is where you're going to learn Salesforce, the actual software. So, and I'm not going to walk you through all of this now. And much of this will seem daunting right now because, if you don't have a frame of reference, it's like looking at a different language. But I promise you, this stuff is easy to learn, although it is not, I will not say it's not challenging, right? It's going to take some work. This is not happen by osmosis. It happens by applying yourself and learning and working hard and then accomplishing your goal. But that being said, I've taken people from retail cosmetic people at the mall, put them through this course, and they are now making multiple six figures and working at multiple companies, right? So that is what happens when you apply yourself and you learn something that may be challenging, but absolutely you're able to do it. And then we focus on the preparation, which is where we spend time preparing for the certification exam. We're taking practice tests, we're taking quizzes, we're completing projects and super badges and things like that. And then ultimately we get to the performance where you combine everything you learn to pass the certification test. You get certified, and now we're having a different conversation about how do we leverage your certification to land your first opportunity.
Well, so tell them, Sean, you say there were 3. You named off the 3 certifications that you're trying to help them be able to approach, because you say once they take the course, they'll be able to go for 3 of them. Which are they?
Yeah, so you take the course, you'll be able to get your Salesforce Certified Administrator, which is kind of the foundational certification in Salesforce, right? Your Certified Administrator. Most Salesforce positions are going to require this certification, right? Either as preferred or required. And so you have that, you're winning. Above that is the Advanced Administrator certification. Okay. And so if you have that, that's even more empowering. You're getting more senior level administrator positions. And that certification is not difficult to achieve either. We're not talking years. We're talking about weeks and months here. We're not talking about years. And then after that, you can get your what's called your Platform App Builder certification, which is a certification around building apps on the Salesforce platform for businesses. And so that is even more is a higher level course, and that one is offered as well.
And then you said the advanced, right?
I did say the advanced. Yep. So the administrator, the advanced administrator, and then the platform app builder.
So let me ask you this, Sean. How do you validate? How can the student, after they take the course, okay, let's say I get the certifications, how will they validate their proof to companies that they are competent? Like, is there anything besides the certification? I know the certifications is part of it, but we offer something else that you talked about. So how can you expound on that? Can you expound on that, please?
Well, yeah. So part of it is marketing yourself, how you market yourself. So your LinkedIn profile is number one. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you will see that I market myself a particular way. And it is about Salesforce. It's about me empowering sales teams to be amazing through process and technology. And you'll see all on my page, Salesforce, Salesforce, Salesforce. And so we will get your LinkedIn profile to where it needs to be. We'll work on your resume to get your resume where it needs to be so that you're coming up on the first page of searches, even though you don't have any experience.
Wait. Did y'all hear that? They're going to review your LinkedIn. They're going to help y'all. They're going to tell y'all get that headshot from Walmart and get it over with. If you're liking the content that we have out here, drop a 1 in the comments and hit the like button. This is a good game, y'all. They're giving a lot of good tips. They didn't have to, but they're giving a lot of stuff out here.
Yep.
Hit the like button. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So we make sure your resume is popping, that it is going to appear, at the top of searches. And then ultimately after that, we help you with some interview prep to make sure that you're able to be prepared for these interviews. Interviewing is a skill. It's nothing magical. It's a skill. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And so we help you get better with interviewing as well. So that's
also the Trailhead. I was trying to get you to allude to the Trailhead piece.
Yeah.
And what that means and what that represents to people.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I recommend Salesforce above other technologies when it comes to getting into IT is that Salesforce has the most generous learning platform ever, and it is free. Okay. And so what you have here is a very high in demand skill set. Now, don't get me wrong, Salesforce charges thousands of dollars for training and things like that. But if you want to do some self-study, you're happy to go online and they go to trailhead.com and learn away. Okay. Now, it may take you a whole lot longer. I'm almost positive it will, because you won't have context for a lot of what you're learning. But the point is, the trailheads are there, and it's a gamified platform. And we use that platform in our training to be able to help you understand what you're doing. So there's no software to buy. There's no software to install. We're online in the cloud, working with Salesforce, doing real hands-on projects with me coaching you and mentoring you through the process, and you coming out on the other end of it, a qualified, certified Salesforce professional, and that's what we do. So
that's it. I was thoroughly impressed with that, because when I was trying to get into IT, it's one thing to go and study. You can take a course, you can be competent, you can get the resume and all that. But when someone can look and see your actual work and see, these are the badges I've earned, this is what I've proven myself to be capable of showing, that is impressive. Like, you can, log in, this is my Trailhead profile, right? Which plugs right into your LinkedIn, by the way. So when they get your LinkedIn, like Sean said, they'll be able to click and go straight into your Trailhead profile, and they can see, oh, this person has 80,000 points on Trailhead. They're impressive. They did this, they've done this. And we've seen people in a matter of months jump to, like, because then they have a long list of the rankings in the world of, this is where you fall.
I'll share if you don't mind. Again,
Go ahead.
My screen. I'll share my
Go ahead, Jerry.
Share my profile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is Trailhead, and just to tell you, right, we talked about how necessary LinkedIn is. Look how you get into Trailhead. You get into Trailhead by logging in with LinkedIn.
They want you to use it.
Okay. So again, if you're not on LinkedIn, you're not in the game. Get in the game. Okay. So I'm going to log in with my LinkedIn profile and get in here real quick. And just to show you, and a lot of this may not make sense, but just to show you kind of what's going on here, I am a ranger on Salesforce, which means I have collected the highest amounts of badges that you can collect from a learning perspective. And so I am classified as a ranger, and you can go through and see all the badges you've gotten, all the learning you've done. You can interact with the community and see what people are saying and talking about. You can look at trending topics to see what people are learning and talking about there. I mean, this sort of learning platform is invaluable, right? You can look and see new badges that Salesforce is constantly rolling out so that you can learn more about what's going on there. And then you can promote equality at your company by having your company do different things on the platform as well. So it's all sorts of, but this is just an example. This is my profile, all right? This is what I've been able to do, but the sky's the limit. And to have this kind of learning module available to you is absolutely amazing. And so this was another reason why I recommend Salesforce when we talk about how to get into IT, how to have a sustain, because the question becomes, hey, we're going to learn, you're going to get certified 3 months, you're going to be amazing. But then what? How do you continue learning? Do you need thousands of dollars to continue your education to keep climbing to the next level? And the answer, frankly, is no, you don't.
And let me add one thing also. The beautiful thing about this, and I wish I had this when I was trying to get in IT. Sean saw me. He was a recruiter before I actually joined the IT, and he was there before me. And he saw my pain. He saw me go to Best Buy and try to get in the damn Geek Squad. Like I remember I called him like, man, the Geek Squad.
He's like, man, if you don't get your rump from over this Geek Squad.
Like, no, he was telling me like, no, if you look at the Geek Squad, the actual Geek Squad, it actually counts as experience, even though I didn't want to do that. But I was like, something. I didn't have anything. And so he was like, at least if you get that, I can kind of help you. But guess what? If I had just put the same amount of effort and time that I had put reading and preparing for the Oracle PL SQL certification, I was trying to be a database administrator. That amount of energy and effort, because I pretty much taught myself SQL. That amount of energy and effort, had I put that into Salesforce, I would have been probably, I'm talking about I was studying 3-4 hours a day, preparing for trying to learn it. If I'd have put that into Salesforce, I probably would have been able to reach out to these recruiters, doctor up my resume, and say, Sean, I got 65,000 points on Trailhead. I mean, I've done this, I've done that. I got these badges, I got super badges. I've done this, I've done that. He could literally say, okay, well, look, I have someone. He said, well, look, we need somebody to do this. I can go get the badge. If they say, well, look, we're looking for somebody that has this skill set. Okay, well, they have a badge up here I can get. I go put a day or two in and read and study, watch the videos, and bam, I got the badge.
That's right. And those go on your resume, right? When I was first getting into Salesforce, I didn't have a whole bunch of Salesforce experience, but what I did have was all of those badges that I was creating and all of those projects I was doing on Trailhead. And guess where they went? Right on my resume. And as companies were saying, hey, we need somebody who knows how to do XYZ, I was like, ooh, I know how to do XYZ because I did it on Trailhead and I put it right on my resume and I was getting interviews from it. So again, the I don't have experience and it's going to take me years and I got to get, all of that becomes moot when you're on the Salesforce ecosystem.
So there are people in the chat and y'all know the one question that drives me mad.
Okay,
are y'all ready? Subzero, you already know what they're about to ask.
I'm curious.
D came in here and said, is age a barrier to starting a new career in this area?
I wouldn't say so.
What do you mean?
I mean, does age stop you? I mean, I've had people
too old or too young.
Listen, on this channel, for whatever reason, whenever I bring a tech person on, somebody will say, is 41 too old? Is 35 too old?
I got my first job in IT. I was like 37 and I'm in my 40s and I've taught students in their 50s and they're working. So
let me tell you something. This is exactly why. Look, I don't berate anybody who has a question and it's genuine. It's just some questions will reveal some of the mindset that a person may have. And the reality is, look, I don't care what you're trying to do. Age isn't going to stop you. Age shouldn't stop you. Age shouldn't even be a factor of. I just told you I hired a 17-year-old to make a ton of money. I hire 60 people in their 60s, close to 70. It doesn't matter. It's can you do the job? Do you know the work? Can you do it? That's it. It's one of the most level playing fields you will ever play on because there is no time for a lot of the other shenanigans. I'm not saying the shenanigans don't exist, but there's no time for it. If a company wants to be successful, they got to get people who can do the job, period. Young, old, middle-aged, whatever. And so, again, that's why I think the mindset portion of what we teach is so important because the only person stopping you is you. That's it, period. And that's my perspective on it. And I would challenge anybody who would have something else to say about it. Based on my own personal experience and the experience of hundreds of people that I've helped over the years.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest reason, and you guys are like, why do you always hark on that question, Erica? I hark on it because I find that sometimes we're searching for a no.
That's exactly right.
We're searching for a no. And my height, my color, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a something. And what we don't understand is there are over, I think, was it 700,000? Do you see it, Subzero, where I posted it? 700,000 open software engineer jobs, and we only had 80,000 software engineer folks graduate.
I always tell people this, and this is something you might want to look at. When Silicon Valley started in the 50s, I like to study the history of things, how it got started. And when you look at it, when it was started by a bunch of white gentlemen, Caucasian gentlemen. And as time has gone on now, it has been completely taken over by Asian immigrants. Most of those people in Silicon Valley, and we don't even work in, I don't work in, so I've never worked out there. I'm just as a measuring stick. I'm just using it as a measuring stick. Those people, most of those people weren't born here. And when you can go to Selma, Alabama, you can go to the country woods. You will see an Indian sitting in front of a database or in front of any type of tech. It's usually an immigrant. Does that? And we always say, well, yeah, they're smarter. No, it's once I worked in the industry, I was like, they just like us. They just know where to go. It's like, it's leverage. You know, once you know where to put your hand, you know, like in the Bible, it says Samson told a young lad, put me between the two pillars of the temple, because it was all about leverage, where you can put your hands, where. And so what we're doing is, in this course, I'm giving you the leverage to equal out the playing field. I went from making 30,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars because it was leverage. It wasn't that something didn't happen. I didn't become a new person. I wasn't. And so I've seen students come, doubt themselves. I go through a rigorous, I'm telling you now, when you interview with me, I'm not going to just be soft on you. I try to punch the tires. Hey, come back. You're not ready. I tell my students that, but they're thankful. You know what? I'm glad you did that, because when you go on these interviews, a lot of times they give the interviews like, oh man, it wasn't half as hard, because these are the things you have to have the right mindset, the right mentality. And you need to get, and a lot of times, one of the things I also find that's very interesting is when people come to my company, I always tell people, hey, guys, work together, piggyback off each other. And so you'll be able to, you know, infiltrate these industries, because, you know, you need help. And you may not understand something, but if I see somebody in the class and they answering the questions, I'm going to ping them. Hey, how did you get, what's this? What's that? Next thing you know, I know what they know. Or I may know something they don't know. Like always, when I teach joins, somebody usually grasps the concept. I always tell them, hey, this person understands it. Why don't you guys have a study group on Sunday? Have a study group on Thursday night, you know, when I don't have class. Have a study group on Saturday afternoon or whenever you guys have, and just come together, work together. And usually what I've found within these years of teaching, when they do that, damn, I've seen at least 3 different instances where the whole damn group got jobs. I've seen, my first time I saw it, everybody got a job except one guy, but that was another situation. Everybody in that group I can name has a job right now. There have been instances where I've seen groups, they get together, and out of 8 people, you might get 8 of them, 7 of them, they got jobs, 6 of them, they got jobs, because they all stuck together. They stuck to the plan. And the only reason the other few won't get a job is because they just quit. That's why it's so important that you know, we talk about intestinal fortitude, mental toughness. I even give my students certain books to read. One of my favorite books, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by James Van Fleet. That's a great book, black book with white letters. Great book on Amazon. We talk about that, because if you understand how to use your mind, man, you could do all types of stuff, man. It's amazing. You know, what you could do once you understand the way the mind works, and you understand, you know, okay, if I do this, and if I tell myself, like when I used to play basketball, if I miss a shot, I would make a face or be like, dang, and I'll run the court. And I read a book, and the book told me, this was older when I got older. The book was like, don't show any emotion. And at first I felt the emotion, but then I stopped feeling emotions when I missed shots, and I started hitting better shots. It was weird. I was like, man, so you mean to tell me all these years that little small emotional outburst that I might make or something, this is a little small, god dang, run up the court. It's a habit. And once I stopped that, it actually helped me become a better shooter. I became a better shooter in my latter years of playing basketball, because I figured out that was something that was I forget what he called it, some sort of mnemonic thing he calls it, where it messes with your, psyche to the point where you'll miss the next shot because of the emotions that you showed. These are the types of things that I talk about.
Can you say the name of the book one more time?
Okay.
Whenever you say books on here, people be like, hold on. You gotta say
so
it twice
the
or
book
3 times.
It's The Hidden Power of the Subconscious Mind by James Van Fleet. It's on Amazon. You don't want The Power of the Subconscious Mind, because that's the one with white. It's a white cover. You don't want that one. You want the hidden. Yeah, it's the first one. The Hidden Power of James. The Hidden Power is white with red trim, and it's black cover, and it's on Amazon. That book is amazing. It talks about all these different instances where people were able to. One guy meditated, and they talk about how this guy meditated every day. When he was diagnosed with cancer, he meditated every day for before he started chemo. He would just meditate. He would imagine his mind, his body eating up the cancer. Went in there, how about the cancer was gone? I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that everybody can. I'm just saying that this actually has happened. We've seen stories like that where people have done amazing things. The mind is a trip, man. And so I like to play.
Thought they were pregnant and then came up there like, ma'am, you are not pregnant. If you don't get out of here with this fake pregnancy. There's a lot of things that your mind can do. And we've had people who are, listen, y'all, the mind is such a thing. It's such a powerful thing. There are some people who, I read stories all the time where people are homeless and all of a sudden they did this one thing. And now 2 years later, they're a millionaire. And you're like, well, what happened? It was in the mind. And you had that one dude that was in the Minnesota Timberwolves. He got out the NBA, started selling drugs. You're like, baby, what happened? He was white. It was in the mind. The mind is a very powerful thing. And that's why when you get up in the morning, what are you listening to? What are you reading? Right? My friend said she got an Uber to go to the airport at 6 a.m. to do listening to hardcore rap. She's like, baby, 6 a.m.? We thugging 6 a.m.? So listen, hidden power of the subconscious mind. I put it. Look, somebody already ordered it. See, y'all got to start putting my Amazon links up here. Y'all gonna give me these 2 coins. Let me finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some good questions in the chat. I wanted to make sure.
If you see them, point them out. I'll try to get to them.
Actually, let me see. Let me plug in before I lose my power here. Bam. All right. So I see someone said something about the age thing. No, there's no age. Age isn't a barrier or restriction. The folks that are saying I have no tech experience, great. This is where you want to be. This is how you get into tech. And once your foot is in, a whole new world opens up to you in terms of opportunities and things that you'll learn. Won't be the last time you learn. So I see some folks saying some things about Apple. Yes, that is true. It's about applying yourself to moving towards a goal. Yep. In nursing, but want to change into tech. Come on, Sparkle. Let's go. This is it, right? So this is it. This is one of the best on-ramps to get into tech that you can find. And so, yeah, I'd encourage you to do it. There is no, let's see, college was the route to Silicon. Yep, it used to be. Not anymore.
Let me say this. Let me say one thing about not having an experience. Not having experience.
So, yeah, and that's another sales sector. So here's the thing, right? I'm in Salesforce. Salesforce is what I do. Hear me? But the part of Salesforce that I'm in is actually sales, right? So I'm not hands-on technical. Matter of fact, I don't even touch Salesforce. I have a team of people who do it for me. I am involved with telling them what needs to be done and figuring it out with them. But I don't even do anything with Salesforce, right? From a technical standpoint, I don't touch it. I have people on my team who do that. And so the point is sales, that aspect of technology is very high paying. I pay people at my organization because under part of what I'm responsible for is sales compensation. I pay sales people in tech $250, $350 a year, 400, when you add up the bonuses and all that kind of stuff. And this is not uncommon. Like if you're making low 6 figures as a salesperson in technology, you're not doing well, right? And so the point is Salesforce can branch you off into other areas of technology that isn't even technical. And so, but having that Salesforce, and actually a lot of sales positions want people who have Salesforce experience because they're using Salesforce to log their sales and interact with their customers as a customer relationship management system. So anyway, that's just, I wanted to say some of that as well. What else is on here?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, mindset is powerful. Yep.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
How long is the program?
Yeah.
The program is 3 months.
Can you hear me?
No, I don't think you can hear us.
You do not need experience to sit for the certification exam. You don't need any experience. The certification exam is, you guys are gonna trip out when I tell you this. The certification exam is 65 questions long. 5 of the questions are not scored. They just put 5 questions in there so they can continue to kind of cycle in some new questions and see how people do. Okay.
Can you hear us, Sean?
Can
y'all hear me? Put a 1 on here.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us now, Sean?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you talking. We just didn't know if you could hear us.
I'm just talking away.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell him.
Hold on. Let me see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Testing.
I was trying to talk. I was wondering if you can hear me. We hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, because we were like,
Were you guys didn't hear anything I said?
we heard you. We
heard everything.
And you didn't.
Yeah, I was trying to go into the part about when they said they don't have any experience, and I was trying to go into, well, you basically don't need experience. And also, this is declarative, which I don't know if people were on here when we talked about that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Declarative meaning there is no coding to learn. You can learn coding in Salesforce, but obviously it can get deep. But what I'm saying is the barrier of entry is literally point and click, drag and drop. The same thing you would do with your email or with Microsoft Word or that type of that's the only type of, other than that, it's just understanding what you're doing, which you need somebody like Sean to guide you through it, obviously, but it's not as difficult. It's just, you're going to have to put the work in. We're not going to spoon feed you. You're going to have to put the work in. But once you put the work in, if you're willing to work, you be successful. That's pretty much the gist of what we're trying to say is you will be successful. If you just want to, you say, all right, I'm coming in here with my hard hat and I'm going to follow directions. That's the very first thing I always say in every class I start. Follow directions. If you don't follow directions, you'll fail most of the time. We've had a few students get away with not following directions and still succeed. But most of the time, if you don't follow directions, you're going to wind up quitting because you'll get frustrated. You'll go on an interview and you'll get your ass handed to you, and I say, hey, do this. Did you watch the videos? Did you do the practice? Did you do the labs? Did you do the interviews? Did you do everything you were supposed to do? If you don't do that, then you won't succeed. And that's in anything. I know people, some people like, oh, well, it's some people, I'm going to make up my own rules and do it the way I want to do it. You can, but rarely have I seen students do that and succeed. The ones that have succeeded were the ones that follow directions. I got to go because I got, I'm here and they eating. Now they went out to eat and left me. Now I got to catch this
Listen,
Uber.
don't be like that. Don't be like that. They left me. Them children need to eat. Don't be like that.
Yeah, they was like they said. I said 30 minutes and it did tell but hey, I appreciate it.
But Sub, is this link I'm sharing the website Lifting the Veil. Is this where they can enroll at?
ltvacademy.com. All they have to do is just click. I also do consultations. Now I'm gonna tell you.
They enroll with that link.
They can enroll with the link. It's $297 a month, monthly subscription. This class is gonna take 3 months. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you because I know they're gonna ask that. So I already talked to Sean. He said it's gonna be about 3 months to do this class.
Yep.
After that, obviously we don't just throw you away. Like I got students that pay for the subscription. Once we get done, I ain't gonna just let you stay with it. I can't talk to you unless you subscribe. It's not like that. Once you subscribe, you're subscribed. You can keep going. And from there, I'll do my best I give you my personal, I give students my number. We talk, text, whatever. And if they have quick questions, I help them and we're able to get them everywhere they need to go.
Listen, Mr. Bill Green, we completely understand. I know the babies were starving. Sean, thank you for your time. Thank you for breaking it down to us. You had some really great gems. You guys, if nothing else, you could just, I mean, if Sean's got a consulting link, or if you go to their class, that he's worth talking to by himself. Many of you are already saying, I don't know if you guys can see the comments in the chat. They're saying thank you. They're showing their appreciation. Great information.
For sure.
If you guys enjoyed it, definitely let them know. Put it in the comments. Let them know if you've enjoyed this show, because a lot of people come on and they want to learn. MI Masters for the $2. He said, "What's the age range?" He just messing with me now. He messing with me now because they know. Somebody said, "Do you take crypto payments?" Boy, y'all's doing the most today. I told you it's a Friday that feels like a Monday. They're saying thank you so much for your time. Thank you, thank you. Great stuff. But yeah, Sean, if you have time, I'd love to talk to you more about recruiting, just for a snippet. When you tell Sub can give you my email, or I can email you can email the staff at admin.classyclimbers.com, because I think it's so valuable to hear from somebody who is in that industry. Makes people kind of relax a little. Listen. I don't know if you guys can see the comments. They're saying thank y'all for the gems. Thank you a lot. Awesome. Thank you. What else? They're asking for your LinkedIn. I don't know.
Sure.
Sean, whatever you want to do. If you want to give me that link, I can put it in the description.
Yeah.
After you guys get off.
How do I do that? I'll put it in our chat on the back end here.
Okay, for sure. For sure.
Grab it.
All right, you guys, I put the link in there. Hit the link. You can go into their class. I'll have it tagged as the first comment, and I'll also have it in the description. Sean, tell them where they can find you, and Sub, tell them where they can find you as you guys close the show out for me.
We'll be starting class Monday, LTV Academy. I do consultations. If you want to, just before you sign up, you got a few more questions, call me. Don't wait too late. I'll do consultations, but if you wait till like 3 weeks out, then you're going to be 3 weeks behind. So you can reach me. I'll call you personally myself, call you, talk to you. If you're on the fence about some things, or if you can't, I've had some people I called and, hey, maybe this isn't for you. But you can reach us there if you want to try to. And Sean's going to be there Monday night. I might do a live simulcast on my channel if I should be off suspension by the end. So
we don't know about that.
Yeah. So so we might do a live simulcast on my channel, and you can see him do his introduction and really kind of see where he's gonna head the class, guys. Once in a lifetime opportunity. I think you guys should join, unless you're satisfied with what you're making. If you're trying to start a business, real estate, trucking, whatever, you need tax returns. That's what I always say. You need tax returns first. If you don't have the tax returns, when I had my mobile car wash, and I would walk in there with no tax returns, and they would just look at me like, "Dude, if you don't get out of here," And so
that's what I'm saying to you, dude. If you don't get out of here, you go eat something with your family, man.
Go eat with your family, man.
I'm waiting on the Uber. I'm waiting on Uber actually. So trust me.
Yeah. Well, I'll say, look, if you guys want to connect with me on LinkedIn. Man, I'm terrible with a lot of the social media kind of stuff, but connect with me on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message. Happy to interact with you, engage with you on LinkedIn. That's fine. The other thing I just want to encourage you, look, we throw out a lot of numbers and stuff about money. Mm-hmm. It's also important to have a good career that you enjoy doing what you do on a daily basis, and you're part of a community of people that do the same thing. So there's a lot of value in that too. So yes, money is great. You need to make a lot of it. It's good to have resources. But beyond that, man, it's good to enjoy what you do and really get some utility from doing some amazing things on a daily basis too. So to all of you guys, blessings. Join the class. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. We are going to be learning some amazing things over the next 3 months, and you're going to come out much better than you are right now. And that is a promise. So looking forward to you guys joining.
Let's get it.
For sure. All right, you guys, listen, look, somebody said I'm about to change my LinkedIn. Change it up. Take that 1994 picture off there from that cookout at the college. Take it down. But you guys, there is none. MI Masters, there is none. You can be 19 to 72 years old. 19 to 72 years old. How about that? If you want to take subs classes, 18 years old, adult to 72 years old.
Yeah.
So there is none. There is none. As long as you're willing and able to get up there and be serious. They got people enrolling in college at 89 years old, y'all. There is no limit. Anybody I bring on this channel doesn't go, hey, you got to be 25 and 25 only. No, we don't do that here.
Right.
18 to 79 years old, okay? Because he said that was a real question. I'm giving you a real answer. All right, you guys, this is your girl Erica, Classy Climb blog. We put Sean's linked in there. We're going to put it inside the chat. We're also going to put it in the links. Thank you so much for you guys being here tonight. This is your girl Erica Williams, Classy Climb. Later. Hold on, YouTube.